Okay, guys, in the last session, we created the table maintenance screen and we created a transaction code to access the table maintenance screen, right? Is it mandatory to create the transaction code to access the table maintenance screen? Do we need to create a custom transaction code every time?
Yes, sir.
No.
No,
We can
sir.
also access through SM30, right? We
Yes,
can
sir. Yes,
also
sir.
access the table maintenance screen through standard transaction code SM30. Okay. But if you want to access it directly, right, without going to SM30, we can create a parameter transaction code. What are the inputs we provide in the parameter transaction code? We provide transaction name as SM30 and select the type of the transaction as a parameter transaction code. And in the properties, what we provide the view name and update,
Update.
right? So what is the transaction code? To create the custom transaction codes,
SC93.
SC93. Okay, in SC93 you can create a custom transaction code,
Transaction codes.
right? There are different types of transaction code, right? Like for report programs, for maintenance screens, for module pool, right? For now, we can use a parameter transaction code for table maintenance generator. Okay. And what is the transaction code we use for report programs?
SC38.
Report program transaction code. Okay. You can see when you are creating the transaction code, all those options. Clear? So whenever you create a program or whenever you create a table maintenance screen, go and create a transaction code, because in production environment, in live system, who are going to use these applications, right? Who will use these applications? Whatever the applications we are creating here, end users, business users, business users, right? Do they have ABAP knowledge? The end users, do they have ABAP knowledge or programming knowledge?
No, right.
No, right? No, they can just use the system, right? Just like how we are using our mobile applications, right? Do we know anything about background coding? What is the
No,
code they
sir.
have used in the mobile application? No, right? We are the end users. We are the end users for those mobile applications, right? So if any one of you know, we have a developer mode in Android systems. We have a developer mode where we can customize our operating system if you have knowledge on programming. I don't know whether that is allowed in the current versions or not, right? So we as a developers, we create these applications and we provide it to end users. In the production system, end users will use these applications. Like mostly they don't have access to SC38, SC11. These are all developer transaction codes. End users doesn't have access to all of these transactions. What we give them? We give them the transaction code to execute one program. We give them the transaction code to execute the maintenance screen, right? Those users will have only specific transaction code access. They'll go to the transaction codes and create the data. Okay. They don't have access to developer transaction codes like SC38, SC11. Okay. They don't go to SC38 like this and they don't enter program. And they don't enter the program and execute any application. What they do? They'll just simply execute the transaction code. They'll just enter here in the command prompt, execute the transaction code. That's it. They don't care about How many lines of code there in the background, right? What is the complexity of code? They don't care. They just they just need to see program output. That's it, right? Like this.
Yes, sir.
They should directly now go to the maintenance screen by using the transaction codes. Okay. Now we created the maintenance screen, right? We created the maintenance screen, right?
Yes.
Have you guys observed when we are creating the maintenance screen, it showed one information or warning message. That is, maintenance screen is specific to only these fields available in the table, right? It displayed that warning, right? So whatever the maintenance screen we've generated only for those fields currently available in the table, right? So let's try like go to the maintenance screen once. How many fields you can see here? Employee ID, employee name. So
Name. Okay.
we created this maintenance screen for this table, right?
This particular
This table,
fields.
this
Yeah.
employee master table. Now, in future, I have a requirement to add few more fields. Like my requirement is to add city also. So in my master data, I want city or phone number. I've added the additional field. I've added the additional field.
Additional field.
Can we add it or not for the custom tables? You can add it. You can add additional fields at any time. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If it is a standard table,
Not possible.
for example, so you are familiar with KNA1, right? It is a standard table. Can we add custom fields to the standard table directly?
No.
Just like this.
No, no, sir.
First thing, we cannot change the standard table because it is the standard functionality provided by SAP, right?
SAP.
We cannot change it, right? Other thing is, it is possible to add custom fields. It is possible to add custom fields to the standard table. We can enhance additional fields. Along with the standard fields, we can enhance the
Enhance the
additional
additional
fields without
fields.
disturbing standard
Actual table.
fields. Without disturbing the standard fields, we can add a few more additional fields to the standard table. That is possible through append structure. Append structure. We can add additional fields to the standard table using which one? Append
Append
structure.
structure.
We can see that later. Okay, how we do that. For now, if it is a custom table, you can just directly open the table and change the table and add your custom fields. Okay. Before changing the table, what you need to do? What is the prerequisite before changing any database object? Impact analysis. Okay. We have to do impact analysis. If I change this table, is any program is going to impact, or any other object is using this table is going to impact. If I am changing the data element, is there any impact on the other tables or other
Other
programs?
tables.
You have to do that impact analysis whenever you are doing any data dictionary object. Clear? How can you do that? By using where is your list. Select the table and click on where is your list. It will display all the programs or any other objects which is using this table. Okay. Now I have added the new field. Click on save and activate the table. Simple. Adding additional fields to the custom table. Right? Clear? Now We have already created data for employee ID and employee name, right? What about phone number?
We didn't add.
It will be empty. Phone number field will be blank because we added
We
it
are
later,
not.
right? We added it later. If you observe, phone number field is blank. Since we are using number type, it is displaying default zeros.
Zeros.
Okay, but it is blank. Phone number field is blank. Remaining values are there for all the records. Phone number fields are blank, right? Going forward, whenever you create a new record, phone number field is going to start populate. Okay, but if you want to fill the previous records also, what you need to do? Previous values also, what you need to do? You have to go to table maintenance screen and update update the values of phone
Phone.
number. That is one option. If it is a transactional table, you need to use some programs. You need to use some programs to update values to these blank phone numbers. Employee ID 100 phone number, employee ID 101 phone number, right? But new records will automatically populate phone number, right?
Yes,
For
sir.
the existing records, if it is a master table, you need to go to table maintenance screen and update these values. If it's some kind of transactional table, you can create a program, right, to update the phone numbers, right? For master tables also, you can create a program if there is huge data to be updated, right? If there are 10,000 records to update, it is not possible manually. It will take time, right? So we can simply create a program to update these values. First, we'll see how we can do this through table maintenance screen. So what is the table maintenance screen for this table? If you go to SM30, what you need to enter? The table name and edit. What it is saying? Data is locked by user. Do you want to display? Because in the other session, I kept it open in the change mode. That's why it is not allowing me to change again, right? So at a time, only one user can access the data. Okay, there is some locking mechanism. So now let me try again. I can access the maintenance screen through custom transaction code or SM30, right? Edit. I've added the phone number, right? I've added the phone number to the table, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
But is this available in the maintenance screen? Is that new field available in the maintenance screen?
No, sir.
No, it is not displaying because earlier when we generated the maintenance screen, it is generated for only those two fields, only for employee ID and employee name. Later, after generating the maintenance screen, we have added the new fields. That's why it is not displaying here. What we need to do? Whenever you add new fields to the master tables, what you need to do? You need to regenerate. Please make a note. You need to
Region.
regenerate the maintenance screen. You need to regenerate the table maintenance screen whenever you have added the new fields. Okay. By default, it won't display the new fields in the maintenance screen. You have to regenerate. What are the steps? Go to utilities, table maintenance generator. We have already created the table maintenance generator. Now, what is the steps we need to do? Click on this change. What did we do? New fields, new fields in the section, new fields in the section. If you deleted any fields, what you need to select? This one. If you deleted some field in the table, and you want to remove that from table maintenance screen also. What you need to do, you need to select this field removed from the structure. You need to select this. If you deleted any table from the field from the table, if you added any field, select this new field in the structure. Click on continue. Is it a key field or normal field? Whatever the field you have added, is it a key field or normal field?
Normal field.
Normal field.
Normal, sir.
So do we need to reflect in both screens or single screens? I need to reflect that change in both screens. Continue, because I am using two step. If you are using single step, you can just use overview screen. Click on continue. Maintenance screen 2 will be deleted and recreated. Continue. Now it is regenerating the maintenance screen. Okay, this is just a warning, ignore this. Save the maintenance screen. Now go to SM30 or the direct transaction code. What is the transaction code name we have given for this? I think this one, right? GEMP master. Phone number field is available, right?
Yes, sir.
Now update the values. Click on save. Now your table will reflect these entries, right? If you want to create a new entry, now you can see 3 fields, right? So like that, whenever you do changes to the table, you need to regenerate the table maintenance
Yeah.
screen.
Table maintenance.
Here we have selected this option. Sorry, transaction code. Where is the maintenance screen? This one, right? So we have selected this change option, and we selected new fields and we regenerated. Okay. There is another alternative. Simply delete maintenance screen. Simply delete the maintenance screen and create again. Created. Now check. I've deleted the existing maintenance screen and created again. Same. It will regenerate. But why? It is very simple, right? Deleting and creating. But why we don't do that? Because in some
Data will be
cases,
lost, sir.
no, it won't be. We are not deleting the data. We are just deleting the maintenance screen and
Oh, okay,
recreating
okay.
it. We are not deleting the table, right?
Sir, yes, sir, got it.
If you delete the table, then you will lose the data. But we are just deleting the maintenance screen, table maintenance screen, and recreating. But why don't we do that is, sometimes we can write some code inside the maintenance screen. Advanced additional code. If you want some additional validations, you can write simple ABAP statements inside the maintenance screen. Okay. If you simply delete it, you are going to lose all those validations, all those code what you have implemented previously. Okay. That's why we don't delete the complete maintenance screen every time. But if you know that there is no code, custom code or additional code implemented inside the maintenance screen, you can simply delete and recreate. Okay. Then there are some additional options to modify the layout. For example, to decrease the width of this, to increase the width of this, to change the labels. If you want to change these report headings, right, you can do that in maintenance screen, where you can go to environment, in the table maintenance screen,
Modification.
environment, modifications, uh, maintenance screen.
Maintenance screen.
Here in the events, right, you can create the additional code, whatever I've told you. We'll see that later. Once we are familiar with coding, select the screen number, go to layout.
Layout.
Here you can change the report headings, or you can increase or decrease the width like this. Just drag to decrease the width, drag to increase the width, right? You can do those changes. If you want to change report headings, what you need to do, double click on this. You can see this text, employee name. I can simply use name like this. You can change. Okay, clear?
Yes. Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes, sir.
There are some additional properties also. If you click on this value, like the white area, you can see the additional options also. Input field, output field, display. This is display properties, fixed font, bright. So you can apply these properties also. You can see more when we are working on module pool programming. Input possible. If I select not possible, it will be grayed out. So user cannot enter input. Okay. I selected it as required. It is a mandatory value. Without entering this value, user cannot save the record. Okay. If you set this property as
Yes,
required, right? So like that.
yes,
So you can change the properties of the field in the modification overview. Okay. Save, close the layout, deactivate it, and go back to maintenance screen. Okay. Like that you can do your custom changes to the table maintenance screen. We write some code also to populate some automatic values. We'll see that later when you are familiar with more ABAP syntaxes. Is everyone clear how to do
sir.
changes to the maintenance screen?
So,
Okay. So for today, I'll discuss about the interview questions, whatever we covered till now, right? The important interview questions, and we'll continue with a new topic from tomorrow. Like we'll go back to programs. Now you guys know, right, how to use tables and how to use data elements domains.
yes, sir.
Everyone clear, right?
SM. SM.
Okay, maybe I'll show you one more thing, that is structures. We have created tables. Let me show you structures also. What is a structure? Structure is a data dictionary object. It is just a group of fields. What is a structure? What is a data dictionary structure? Structure is group of relevant fields. So why we use structures? use this in functions also. For now, observe this. Structure is a data dictionary object. It is just a group of fields. Can we store data in the table? Can we store data in the table like table? We cannot store any data, cannot store data in the structures. Data will be handled only in program runtime. Can we store data permanently in the structures like database tables? No. We can store data permanently only in database tables.
Database.
Structure is also similar. When you open the structure, you can see fields and everything, but we cannot store the data in the table. We can only use the structures in program runtime just to group the fields or reuse the fields. For example, employee address. What will be the fields available in employee address? Take some address fields. What are the address fields? Street number, door
Zip
number,
code.
city,
Yes, sir.
state, country, postal code, right? Address contains these five or six fields, correct? Now,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
creating a table for employee address. I'm creating a table for employee address. What are the fields required in that table? Employee ID, that is mandatory, maybe employee name and address fields, right? We need to list out all the address fields, street, city, country, postal code, right? And state. We need to enter all the fields and those corresponding data elements, right? In the employee address table.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm creating a table for vendor address or customer address. Let's take customer address table. I'm creating a customer address table. What will be the fields we are going to maintain in customer address table? Customer ID, customer name, and customer address fields, right?
Yes, sir.
Again, we need to maintain all the fields are not street, city, state, country, postal code. Same fields. Whatever we maintained in employee address table, we are going to maintain same fields, right? Here
Customer
for customer also,
address.
except
Yes,
customer ID and customer name.
yes,
And I
sir.
am creating a separate table for vendor address. Again, vendor ID, vendor name, and the rest of the fields are common for all the address, right?
Yes, sir.
So instead of entering all the fields individually every time, what I can do, I can group these address fields as one structure, and
Structure.
I can use that structure name here, right?
Yes, sir.
How to create a structure? Let's see. It is just a group of fields. It cannot store any data. It's also an important interview question. Difference between table and structure. What is your answer? Table can store the data permanently. Structure cannot store the data permanently. Structure is just a group of fields, right? So by using structure, we can reuse the group of fields. What is the other use of structures? We can define internal tables, work areas in the program. Okay, clear? Now let's create a structure. We are going to use structure in different objects. What is the option to create the structure? Select data type, provide the structure name, provide some naming convention. I'll use like this, ZDemo. Yes, I'm indicating that it is a structure. Some structure name, ZDemo EMP. Create it. Do we need to give same name just like this? Is it mandatory to give S in the structure name? No,
No, sir.
it is not mandatory. But when I look, when I've opened this name, when I check this name, I can easily identify, right, what type of object it is by going
Yes,
through the
sir.
name, right?
Sure.
Just like how you identify gender by names, right? Raju is a male, Rani is female, just like that, right? We provide some name which is easy to identify the object type, right? Select the structure, provide the description. I'll group the structure here. For example, EMP ID type. What is the data element? Is it similar to table or not? When you are entering the fields, but do we have primary key option here? Do we have primary key option here?
Hmm.
No,
Do we
sir.
have foreign key option here? No.
No, sir.
It is just group of fields. That's it. Do we need to take same name as table here? Field name can be anything. It's up to your choice, but always take some meaningful name. Okay. Type. I don't know the data element. Let me search. By using stars, I can easily search. E-name. Similarly, you can enter city, type ORT01. That is a standard data element I'm using. Like this, you can group all the fields. You can group all the fields. Okay. Maybe I'll remove employee ID. That doesn't make any sense. I'll group like this: city, country, type. There is standard data element for country. Land one. Land one is the data element for country. Even in tables, right? You can see the same field name. Land one is the field name of country. Okay. But here we are taking some generic name, easily understandable name. But in standard SAP tables, country is nothing but LA land one. I told you, right? They designed it in German initially. All the names are uh, familiar to German. Okay. So, okay, you can take any number of tables. For now, I've taken only these fields. Then save. That's it. You don't need to maintain any technical, sorry, what is it? Table, technical attributes of the table, technical settings of the table, because it's not a table, right? That's it. Our structure is ready. Group whatever fields required in the structure. Okay. Now you can use this in your programs. You can reuse this in the tables. Okay. Simply let's create a table, simple table, S11. Some table name, provide some table name, create. Sorry. Go to fields. I'll take employee ID. I'll make it as a primary key. Remaining fields I'm not going to enter manually because I've already grouped. I've a structure with all these rest of the fields. What I need to use in the table. Okay. Now how can I use this structure in the table? Select the structure name. Dot include. Dot include. You need to write this. Dot include and enter the instead of data element. What you need to enter? Structure name. Okay. Instead of data element, what you need to enter?
Structure name.
Structure name. Maintain the technical settings. Save. Go to technical settings. Let's assume it's a master data table. Save. Activate the table. Now tell me how many fields this table contains. Employee ID and whatever the fields
Oh,
available in this structure. 3 fields, right? Now this table
yes, sir.
contains 4 fields. Employee
Total
name,
4.
city and country. Okay. Employee ID, city, name and country. Simply we'll create some data here. Create entries. You can see all the 4 fields, right? Similarly, go back and open the table again. Now you can see all the fields. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We have added these 3 fields using a structure. What is the keyword you need to use to add the structure?
Dot include.
Include.
Dot include.
Dot include. We added this structure to the table. Can we add this structure to other structure? Can we add this structure to the other structure? Yes.
Yes,
Go
sir.
to the structure. Simply, let's assume this is the structure. Go to the structure. Same dot include, type and enter the structure name. That's it. Whatever the fields available in the structure will be added to this structure also. See, I'm using the same structure here, but this is not how we do. Create a new structure and add the existing structure to that structure. We can add one structure to other structure and tables. Okay. Structure can be reused in any number of tables or in any number of structures. Okay.
Thanks.
Before going to, if you want to do any changes to the structure, what you need to do? If you want to do some changes, what you need to do? You have to do impact analysis. Where this structure is being used. Select the structure. Where is the list? I'll select all objects by using this. Where it is using? In a database table. It is using in a database table. Okay. Check is there any impact on the database table or not. Right. Now let's see. I'm adding one more field to the structure. I'm adding one more fields to the structure. Let me add the postal code. I don't remember the data element. C11. I think I can find it in KN1 table. Any field. Let me add any field. Postal code. This is postal code. PSTLZ is the field name. This is the data element. Let me add it. I'm using generic name. Postal code. Now what will happen? I've added a new field to the structure. Now what will happen? Wherever you are using the structure, wherever the object you are reusing the structure, all those objects will be added with one more field, that is postal code. That is the additional advantage, other advantage of using structures. You don't need to change in every table. For example, you are using an address structure in many tables, right?
Yes, sir.
There is a change in requirement and you want to add one more additional field, that is uh, landmark of the address. we need to add that additional field to the address. Now, do we need to change in all those 100 tables? If we are using address fields in 100 tables, do we need to change in all those 100 tables?
No, sir.
No. Simply go to the structure what you are using in those 100 tables and add that additional field to that structure and activate it. Now, all those 100 tables will be reflected with this new field. That might be a table or structure or program, whatever. Okay. Now go to the
Yes, sir.
table where like we are using this structure in a table, right? Now go back, open the table again, display. Postal code is automatically added to the table, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you don't need to go to the individual tables and structures to do the changes. If you are using structure, it is very easy. Go and change the structure. It will reflect in all the tables or structures. Okay. That is the additional advantage of using structure. Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
So we can use these structures in the program also. Here I need to explain one thing, currency and quantity fields. That this is also related to table. Whenever we use currency and quantity, we need to provide the reference in SAP. For example, if I say 1000, what is the value of 1000? There is some specific value, right, for 1000. If it is Indian rupees, there is some specific value for 1000. If it is US dollars, value will be different, right, for that 1000.
Yes. Yes, sir.
If it is euros, values will be different, right?
Yes.
If it is Japanese currency, values will be different. If it is rubles like Russian currency, value will be different. For that 1000, value is 1000, right? Amount is 1000, but depends on its currency. The value of that 1000 will be different, right? Clear?
Yes, sir.
So for that reason, whenever you use any amount in SAP tables, what you need to mention? Reference unit or currency. 1000 in which currency, right? 1000 in which currency? You need to mention that. That is mandatory. Okay?
Okay.
Because you are going to say that, sir, I am going to give 1000 for you, right? 1000 have different values, depends on its currency. If you give me $1000, how much it is?
Nearly
Near to
85K.
60 plus, maybe around 70,000, right?
Yes, sir.
If you give me 1000 rupees, just 1000 rupees, right?
Yes.
So for that reason, you have to mention the unit of reference. What is the currency of this amount? For currency and quantity also. If you say 10, what is 10? Is it kg? Is it liter? Is it a meter or is it centimeter? Is it 10 tons? Is it 10 kilometers, 10 miles? We don't know, right? What is the 10? Depends on the unit. Again, lot of changes going to happen here, right?
Yes, sir.
So like if I ask you, hey, please walk for 10. What is that 10? Please walk for 10. That might be 10 centimeters, 10 meters, 10 kilometers, right?
Yes, sir.
So we need to maintain unit also, reference unit, right? That we maintain here in currency and quantity fields. So whenever we use those currency and quantity fields, I'll show you how to maintain that reference. Okay. Here we need to maintain that reference.
Yes.
That is very easy. So when we are creating the program, so I'll show you. Okay, any questions? Okay, then we'll continue in the next session.